How do you manage diagnoses for children, right? We're talking about 2, 4, 5, 6. And my nephew, best child in the world, runs around with the biggest energy in the world, right? Sings, dance, like, so, at some point, how can a parent bring out this awareness in themselves? And how can they notice within their kids and realize that maybe this is something that they need to have a further discussion with?
That's really an important question. And honestly, early intervention is better because research shows that the later one takes to intervene when there is ADHD present, the other coexisting conditions come up more. Like again, we talked about the anxiety, the depression,
right?
And some of the learning, the kid gets further behind if they're not able to sit still. If they're so disruptive, they're missing a lot of classes. I read somewhere one of the people that was always misbehaving in class was always standing outside class, right? And in the end, they miss a lot of class.
Right.
They miss a lot of teaching because they were standing outside. So it does impact. So I think if it's the more hyperactive presentation, at some point the teachers would be making some complaints.
Right.
Friends, parents might be making complaints. And I think as a parent yourself, you would know. And I would say, trust your gut. Kids don't always grow out of it. And that's why people delay seeking help. If you see that there are things that are not synchronous with, let's say, the progression or development, check it out further.
Right.
Because the earlier that one can intervene and understand the condition and put in all the scaffolding, all the structures that might help with the executive function. Right?
Absolutely.
And as you said, you learned about the scheduling, right? The timetabling. My grandfather taught me all that as a kid. So I think that's what helped me. Better because, there's some anecdotal stories flying out there that by the time ADHD child is about 10 years old, they've heard about 20,000 negative comments. Think about it. And what does that do for one's sense of identity when one's an adult?
That's such a powerful viewpoint into it, right? Because you're right, we kind of discount a lot of that and how that impacts a child's mental development as well, their confidence, their understanding of selves, or how they identify themselves.
Yeah, so I would say to parents, if you suspect, go check it out, because if there really is something that you could do to support your child, I think it helps address things before it gets worse, number one, and also you're preserving their self-esteem and their self-confidence, and you're actually having a longer runway for them to learn and you to learn together with them.
Sure.
Rather than a late diagnosis and a couple of things have been done in the past that you are trying to heal from, right, or undo.